about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and there he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo will win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent...
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of Sports Orbit, reaching you from the Leadership Podcast Studio. Nice to have you join us again. My name is Afa Acho, your host, and Salifu Usman is also here with me. Salifu, once again, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Yeah, thank you, my guys. Always a pleasure.
As always, we also have a bumper package on Sports Orbit today, as usual. Of course, the Super Eagles are in the news, as we all are aware. The qualifier, the final playoff match between Nigeria and Ghana is fast approaching, and the Eagles are constantly in the news. Preparations are ongoing, and we'll have what Ahmed Musa and, of course, the Super Eagles technical advisor Egwabon has to say. There's also basketball news in this one. Finally, some sort of respite has come the way of the Tigers, as some good sum of money has been made available to offset some of the amount that was owed to them previously. The NBBF is also in the news. We'll find out what's happening. A reconciliation committee has been set up to look into the crisis that has rocked the federation for the past 4 years. Then last night also there were some Champions League matches that went down, and a Premier League match that also went down. That and much more we'll give to you in the course of the show. First, we'll begin with the news coming from the Super Eagles, where players and coaches of Nigeria Super Eagles have reassured their commitment towards earning a spot at the 2022 Qatar Olympics, World Cup rather, holding this year in Qatar. Also, that will be the first World Cup that will be holding in the Middle East. At a virtual meeting where they had with the Honorable Minister of Sports, Sunday Dari, that meeting had in attendance Austin Agwavon, technical advisor, and Captain Ahmed Musa, where they assured Nigerians that they are committed to clinch the Qatar 2022 World Cup ticket to at least give Nigerians something to cheer about. Salifu, the news about the World Cup playoffs, we can't stop talking about it. In fact, as each day passes by, it's coming closer and closer. And in that virtual meeting, Ahmed Musa also appealed to the Minister of Sports to do everything in his power to ensure that that stadium will be filled with Super Eagles fans, to ensure that they enjoy maximum support at home, especially in the return leg.
Yeah, good one from Musa, appealing that he needed the support of fans. Yes, I think the Super Eagles will never lack support in terms of getting the spectator behind them. The Abuja fans and Nigerians from all look as close to come out that day and to give the Eagles a much more support. But I'm a bit worried when you see administrators and players going to a meeting to talk about matches and talk about issues. There are more to it than that to meet the eyes. There are a lot of things that is going on that we're not privileged to know. Because to me, meeting with players is unnecessary.
No, yes, yesterday we had that
the Austin and were commissioned to travel to go and meet the players. To talk to them. Now they're having the meeting with the players. That means I believe there's in as much as they are not come out to see it, there's something teaching that the players are agitated for. But for ministers to call them to have a meeting, yes, it's good to talk to them one-on-one. Yes, you can talk to the players time to time, taking them, encouraging them, psych their morale up. But for all this kind of a meeting where the necessary thing, I think there's some certain thing that are not good. But the good is that the players are coming out to say, okay, they are assured Nigerians that they are also. just like I said yesterday, the World Cup is more important to them than me
Absolutely.
and the Nigerians. It's more important to the players than just like when we were talking all before this thing, that play certain player that needed to win the World Cup. And if you don't win the World Cup, he's feel that he has not been feeling in his career. So definitely, there are many players who dream to play at the World Cup. And if you look at the present crop of the Super Eagles, yes, some of them have played at the World Cup. For instance, the like of Winfrey, the Hina-Shaws, Iwobi, Galu, and Ahmed Musa. Ahmed Musa, this is if Super Eagles get qualified, this will be his third World Cup if Super Eagles get qualified. But there are some new players who have also come up who have never played at the World Cup. So definitely those ones who also want to get to be a World Cup player. So it's more important to the players than the fans. And just like that, we hope that if though they have not come out to tell us what is agitating, but we pray that whatever is agitating, the man should be sent to keep it in order. And it's good that they are talking to each other and let's set to the matter. That's why we shouldn't hear that. Let all we want get to the pitch, play what we need to do, and ensure that we beat the Ghana to ticket. Because that Ghanaians are also desperate to come back to the World Cup.
Sure.
So remember, they missed the last World Cup and they want to come back to the World Cup.
So it's going to be a really very tough encounter. I'm looking forward to that because already a lot of mind games are building up both on the Nigerian side, on the Kenyan side. But I think for now, it's more important that, especially on the Nigerian side, we stay focused.
Yeah, stay focused indeed.
Not all these meetings. For me, as long as I'm concerned, all these things are distractions.
It's a distraction.
We all saw what happened to the Eagles in Cameroon,
Yes.
where these boys were playing well until different officials were going to give them motivational speeches every day, and we all saw how that ended. So allow these boys to concentrate on the task at hand, and not all the distractions of holding virtual meetings to do what, to discuss. And if it's the issue of bonuses, settle these bonuses once for all, and let's move on from that.
The players in questions we are calling them to a virtual meeting has a job at hand.
Yeah.
They have a task at hand. They have a time to play for their work. At the time, the is a distraction. So if you have any issue to them, settle the issues. Whenever they came to review, invite them and put all the necessary materials, all the necessary that needs to be put in place for the players to ensure that they have a seamless campaign.
As it unfolds, so much more will come out of what transpired in the coming days. Away from that to basketball, where news reaching us say that the Nigerian national women's team, the Tigers, are to receive the sum of 25 million naira as cash reward for winning the African Championships in Cameroon. Actually, the president, Muhammad Buhari, actually approved that sum as cash reward for the Tigers. Well, we might say it's coming late, but better than never. But for now, it's just an approval yet. I think I'll be more happier if the money had been presented to them. And asking again, you see the amount here, 25 million naira. You ask yourself, is it enough? Or I don't know, is it part of the money, or is this everything that was owed to them? And we're talking about this is over 6 months since that championship, if I'm not mistaken. And like I said, yes, better late than never, but it's fine that it's coming down. But your take on this?
Yes. Just like you said, better late than never. But even as much as I'm not excited about this. There's nothing to excite about this. Although it is better that there's something that there's nothing at all. And thank God, maybe we said yesterday emphatically that the audience is Marumo but to come out and reward this girl. Maybe you may have listened to what we have said yesterday. But yes, it's a good step, but it's not enough. For instance, what me in particular, and what the players, and I believe if I have to speak the mind of the players, they want is to have a meeting, we have a handshake with the president. There's sometimes money. Yes, the players need money, but sometimes money is not everything. For instance, like what they said, they said the legal of Senegal that just won AFCON. Immediately they were hosted by their president.
And giving national
honors. Those players, yes, they reward them at it is $7,000 per player, but those players value that eye-to-eye, ball-to-ball handshake with the president more than anything. They feel honor. And for you, the president, if you call those guys to the pillar and tell the others to the pillar, my daughter, papa them and they put just a handshake or a handshake, told someone will go a long way, motivate them than even the money. And even if you're looking at the 25 million in the present Nigeria, we are talking of 25 million naira. 25 million naira for 12 players. But 12 players.
Because I looked at it. How much will they split it into now?
12 players and
officials.
And officials. In the total, they will make up no less than 18 people. So all officials, 55 million. For what? A team that won back-to-back Africa basketball 3 times, and in the previous 3 times they have not even rewarded. So now you are giving them 5 million. Well, it's good that you are giving them anything than nothing at all. But this money, it's not part of all the work that have been. This one just a reward for winning the championship. And pray that this money get about President Muhammad to go further than this. The Minister of Youth and Sport, yes, it's good. You make a recommendation and they make the recommendation of the 5 million. Good at them. But you need to press more. Let the president reward you get more than the money. And then we're not even talking about money. You should not even reward them with money. You can. What is wrong in giving those guys houses?
Exactly.
What is wrong in
something more tangible?
Yeah, more tangible that they can be remembered. To when I won, I pray for my country and I won. And this is what they get. They can also have opportunity when they get daughter or get children. Can show to their children. What is wrong? The girls that have won Afro basketball time to time 3 consecutive times in Africa. I've qualified for a World Cup of 2 consecutive times. What is wrong in calling them and giving them a house? Like it's done for football players.
I agree with you too.
What is 25 million for goodness sake for 12 players and officials who made up of 18 teams?
Because by the time they split that money, I can just imagine how much we get to each
High 1.5.
It won't really amount to nothing if you ask me. But good one. But I hope we use this medium also to ask that everything all these girls, I'm sure a lot of other bonuses
we pay, and the Minister of Youth and Sport will tell you off for even Cameroon and for yes, and parents will reward them. You can also press for that. There's nothing wrong in giving these girls. If you cannot give them house, give them land so that they can have something to point to that this is what they do for play for their country.
Still on basketball, but a different angle this time around, coming from the NBBF, where the factional president, Igocha Mark, has set up a reconciliation. Set up a reconciliatory committee to see how all issues surrounding the different issues that have actually plagued basketball can be resolved. But you want to ask yourself, he's a factional president. You set up a reconciliatory committee. How are you going to carry the other faction along? Because don't forget that this is your faction. So how are you able to reconcile these 2 factions? Is the only other faction willing to come to sit down at the round table? Because as long as they may be concerned, you are the faction president of your own faction. So if you call for a meeting, you are not inviting us because we don't belong to your faction. So who are you? Who are the people who are going to attend this meeting exactly? Because I was wondering.
Yeah, so we have a point there, but but to me, I see that it's a good move. Just like you explored a peaceful resolution mechanism, talk to everybody. It's better. It is good to talk than to continue waging wars. Continue his own way. It's better to talk to each other than wage. There's nothing wrong. If just like he said in his book, he said he's going to constitute a committee that will be made up of reputable Nigerians. Big people who have unpickable characters, that can be recognized and be honored, and people can be respected. You set up those to talk to people, to talk to all the warrior factions, and bring everybody on the table. And to him, yes, everybody should forget what has happened in the past. That the game need to move forward in the interest of Nigeria and in the interest of the young, playing young. Because he's no longer playing the basketball. Accordingly, he's no longer playing. But he's benefited from the game of basketball, and they need to give him back to those who are still playing and give great opportunities for the young guys. So you can't just sit in on the game and block everywhere and nothing is happening. Why the life of young Ghanaians who depend on this game to put, and apart from the player who depend on this game, you have to have family who look up to them. Yeah. There are many of these players put their family in as much as young as they are. Their family relies on them. Their parents relies on them. From the little one they earn from the basketball, and for 4 years, nothing has been happening in the game. And he said that we need to put up a committee. Let us bring ourselves together. If we generally love the basketball, talk to each other. Let this committee talk to people and bring everyone to have a peaceful revolution. There's nothing wrong with the committee. Maybe Kida may have a different idea, but there's somebody that I may be fighting with you. You can send somebody to approach me because of the character of that person. I may listen to that person and settle the whole thing. And it's also he promised that and good as he said, you're going to run all inclusive Administration to say no, but you run like that cover every interest of Nigeria, every interest of the basketball.
All right, good one. We hope this reconciliatory committee will achieve the purpose for which it's setting up, and every other faction, the other faction will at least agree to come together to a round table, sort out their issues so that we can move the game of basketball forward in Nigeria. Maybe at this point we'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll give you so much more we still have on Sports Update. Don't go nowhere. Okay, forget break.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that short break. You're still on to Sports Orbit, reaching you from the Leadership Podcast Studio. Before we went on that break, we're on to basketball, and we're still on to basketball, where Nigerian basketball players have come out to call on Minister of Sports Sunday Dare, saying that his silence is no longer golden in the crisis in the MBBF. I mean, recall that since this crisis has been on, the minister is yet to take a definite position that has actually assuaged or favored all of the worrying factions in this point. And at this point, the players have said it's time the minister takes a position, steps in, wades into this matter properly, so that somehow they'll be able to resolve this issue. And Salifo, I think I quite agree with the players.
You can't agree less, even me.
Because, and we've said it over and over again, apart from the other time when you said a reconciliatory committee, all through this crisis, fine, you could say that, okay, this crisis, well, was not engineered by him, so to speak, but being the man in charge, I mean, you inherited this crisis, being the man in charge, you should have used the position of your good office to somehow intervene in this crisis and at least find a way of resolving this crisis, because now the players have come out to voice out their concerns, because at the end of the day, like we keep saying, they are the ones who are suffering it. Recall that Rivers Hoopers can't even attend, the championship, this league, because of, as a result of this crisis. And the players now have said, Honorable Minister, it's time you make your I mean, you say something so that we know where you stand.
Yes, I quite agree with the prayer. And the Minister of Youth and Sport is the president of sport in Nigeria. He represents the president. So his decision in the sport matters a lot. And just like the players are saying, this is 2 weeks now that the election was held. This is 2 weeks now, the election was held January 31st. Today is what? Today is 16th February. Over 2 weeks now. And up to today, you are aware that in the house where you are supervising, under your purview, two people are claiming to hold to one position.
Yeah, and you're yet to come out to make
and you are going to come out to make a definite statement on that issue. So they say silence is good, but in this kind of time, silence is no longer
golden. Yeah.
So the Minister of Youth and Sport will tell in as well, they will tell us they don't want to interfere. No, this is not the time to say I'm not going to interfere. Your decisions matters a lot, and your silence is frustrating. It's frustrating the players because they don't know where you are. They know it's and for them, the players look up to you as the father of sport, as the game master of Nigeria. Yes. They look up to you to take a definite decision on this matter. If it is mean, okay, the two selection, two of you step aside. Let people know. No, your own election was not clean. This election was clean. Let people know where you stand and let people know where to follow. And according to one, the guy who spoke on the behalf when they sent a letter of protest to the Minister of Offices, Ejike Owoya, who is the former the Tigers players, and he was a member of the immediate past board led by Musakida. He was the player rep on the Musakida led board. Say that if you have compromised, if you have not compromised, then you see no reason why you should stay for 2 weeks without taking the nation where your house is in fire. If they have the administration responsible to oversee and a certain faction of the sport is under a crisis for 4 years, for 4 years, this issue has been raising on now, and we have opportunity to settle the whole thing once and for all. And you buckle it now. Two bodies went to the election, and now two people are still claiming to be. You need to come out, let the government come out in the clear and in the clear statement and make a statement. More importantly, that you issue a statement that election you announce. There is circular that election should hold in Abuja. Another group going to hold election somewhere else. So and you keep quiet on it.
I mean, really, it's time the minister. At the end of the day, he's in charge.
He's in charge
of sports in Nigeria. So
he can't completely hands off his hand what's happening in basketball.
Because it shouldn't be a case where you interfere when you feel like, and you don't interfere when you don't feel like. We all know that government interferes in sports, so let the interference be 100%. Interfere when there's a crisis. If you can interfere when there's no crisis, there's a crisis.
If he's not interfere, why is he holding meeting with the Super Eagles players? Is it his duty to hold a meeting with the Super Eagles players?
Exactly.
So if that is not interfering, you should call the players
to others and all them have a sit down with all of these factions. If it's to plead or impress on one of the factions to step down or shit swords, you can do that for the game to move on. I mean, there's nothing wrong in appealing to someone to drop their
genuinely appealing
to appealing to someone, and if they see reason that you're actually sincere, there's no point. Oh, say, okay, for this sport to move on in the country, okay, I step back and let's forge ahead in a peaceful manner.
So it's better to say something than to not say anything.
Yeah. So
no matter how stupid whatever you're going to say may be, it's better in this case, it's better to say something, let people know say this is what to say, than to just keep quiet completely.
Away from that now, on to straight to the Champions League, where some 2 matches were played. Actually, yesterday it was Paris Saint-Germain against Real Madrid and Man City versus Sporting Lisbon. And in those results last night, Paris Saint-Germain ran away 1-0 in that one, courtesy of a brilliant goal by Kylian Mbappe. And for Sporting Lisbon versus Man City completely outclassed Sporting Lisbon 5-0 at home. Actually, I mean, at this point, you can as well say that is done and dusted for. I mean, it's the end of the road for Sporting Lisbon, and you can as well say that once Man City have a leg already in the quarter-final. But for PSG, there's still a lot to fight on the return leg when they get back to Madrid. But looking at that game, a very good game. But I must admit that in the Paris Saint-Germain game versus Madrid, surprisingly, the whole of that game, the scoreline does not even show what actually transpired on the field of play, because PSG actually dominated from start to finish in that match. So I think Madrid were even lucky to run away with just 1-0 in that one. And of course, Messi also should have opened the scoring, but he missed the penalty, which was brilliantly saved by Thibaut Courtois in that one, until Kylian Mbappe came to the rescue. Actually, it was actually in extra time of that match where he scored that goal.
Yeah, it happens in football. Sometimes you'll be dominating and it's not you get the ball into the next program, and that's exactly what happened yesterday. Yes, just like you say, PSG dominated the match from start to finish, but you can also not play down the real match, because they may not be dominated, but they were playing some tactically that keep their defense.
Not forgetting that they're playing away.
Playing away and ensure that what they do is just maintain their back line and so they keep the defense. And the luck was on their side. Yes, it not conceding more than one goal. The odds were conceding more than one goal yesterday. And for Messi missing the penalty, well, it is not known. It is not unknown in football.
It happens. I mean, the best of players have missed penalties over and over.
But it makes noise when very high profile miss a penalty, and just like when it happened at the last World Cup when Sadio Mane missed a penalty that beat his team league. But fortunately for him, he came at the end of the rescued the team and ensured the team winning. So let's see, it is not yet over, and just like I said, there's still another 90 minutes to fight for. And so you may see that Real Madrid may be at a disadvantage, but they still Real Madrid still have 50% chances.
Of course, I mean, taking in consideration that from this season, UEFA has abolished completely the away goal rule.
Even with the away goal or no away goal, Real Madrid still have it.
Definitely, because the second leg, they were playing out there in Madrid, playing at home, and of course, we all know that the Bernabeu is always a different atmosphere. You know, so Madrid is always a different team.
It looks like Kylian Mbappe rise to the occasion yesterday, and
he did.
In the previous year, he beat the full center focus, and he didn't disappoint. He came to the rise of the occasion yesterday, and the young man has said that he did. Yeah.
All right, there are still some couple of matches going down today. We'll take a look at the matches going down today also in UEFA Champions League. It will be Liverpool against Inter Milan. Of course, Mo Salah will be likely to start this one tonight against Inter Milan, the Italian side. Inter will be at home while Liverpool will travel all the way to Milan to face the current Italian champions. Of course, Bayern will also be up against Salzburg, Austrian champions, in the other match. Play quickly, Sanfu, what do you expect from these two encounters? Inter Milan, Liverpool.
Yeah,
Bayern,
Inter Milan versus Liverpool. It's going to be an interesting entire. But I see that Liverpool may have their way on this match. Liverpool look very favored to win this particular match. Not directing the Inter Milan. The Italians score sometimes. They always be surprised. The Interland, they are not too very impressed this season after they go to left them. So let's say with this champion is a different ball game. But I strongly believe that Inter Milan, Liverpool have their way.
So Bayern, Salzburg.
Well, that will be very close to. But Bayern is always. You can always
favorites.
You can always put your money on Bayern.
Quickly before we go on to some transfer news, where Kylian Mbappe has come to say that he has no deal yet with Real Madrid. This is coming on the backdrop of after yesterday's game, where after he spoke to newsman, he said that there's nothing on the table so far. He still has a lot of time to sort out his future, but for now, irrespective of speculations and rumors saying that he might have signed a pre-contract, there is nothing of such so far at this point in time.
Yeah, good one for PSV, and for PSV fans who are having the data, they may lose their pride asset. It has come to actually that no, nothing is not here, but it's not. But that does not mean it's not. It does not rule it out.
No, at all.
But at the moment, nothing is on the table. But it's not saying I'm not interested. So something can come into the table later, but now I'm not on the table.
You know how these things happen. It might just be like the club, like we heard some weeks ago. The two clubs have decided that anything concerning Kylian Mbappe for now won't make it public until the end of the season. So football can be very funny. Who knows? At the beginning of the transfer window last year, speculations were rife that he might move.
I may still likely see Mbappe leaving PSV this season.
It's very certain. But the other side of the rumors we're hearing was that Zidane is likely to take over at the end of the season, and Zidane at PSG is likely to take over from Pochettino at the end of the season, and he's already, according to him, trying to build his team around Kylian Mbappe, thinking that when he takes over, Mbappe will be a focal point in his team in PSG.
Well, this is game of football, and it's something that you cannot rule out completely, because there's no smoking with that fire. When you are hearing all this speculation here and there, that means there's something negotiation. Even the fact, and like I said, that the fact that even the two clubs agree that nobody should talking.
It means something might be going on.
That something might also be going on, when they don't want to make it public. So, but let's say it's good. So much is already approaching. In less than 6 months' time, we're almost approaching the summer. So transfer summer, know who is going well, who is not going well. But it is good to be good if Jidene came to the France where his own native country, where he has done well at the Real Madrid. So I don't see him going back to Real Madrid after the second stage we have in Madrid. So PSV will be the likely team, but sometimes I'm not comfortable when the club, the coach is in charge, and you are negotiating another coach to take over after his contract. So he put the coach on the driving seat, uncomfortable.
I agree with you. Anyway, like we said earlier, some Champions League matches will go down later on tonight. Of course, one Premier League match went down yesterday was United versus Brighton. That one, where after having two successive draws, United were able to at least run away with all 3 points in that one yesterday, courtesy of a Cristiano Ronaldo goal and a stoppage time goal by Bruno Fernandes. Well, at this point, this is where we slam the brakes on today's episode of Sports Orbit. Once again, Salifu, thank you for being on the show today again.
Thank you so much, pleasure.
All right, until we come your way tomorrow again with another bumper package of Sports Orbit, I bring your host, Afa Achoani, is goodbye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.